Thank you so much for joining us today at Everyday Yoga. My name is Christine, and today we will be doing one of our gentle, cozy, relax and restore classes. So I'm just starting in a nice, comfortable seat to make it really relaxing and restorative. I am sitting up on a cushion, but you could also sit on a block or a pillow or a rolled up blanket. Just something to kind of lift the hips up here a little bit and allow the knees to comfortably come down towards the earth. I'm sitting in Siddhasana pose rather than cross-legged easy Sukhasana pose, which you can do if you prefer. But I like Siddhasana where I can pull one heel in towards the center and then kind of stack the other one sort of in front of that heel. And let's just push down gently on the tops of the thighs so that we can really draw the crown of the head up towards the sky, finding length in the spine, picturing all the spaces in between the vertebrae as we move from the tailbone up through the low back, in the middle of the spine, the thoracic spine, and then up into the upper spine and the neck, the cervical spine. Just picturing all the nice, healthy spaces in between all the little bones of the back. And then release the hands and allow the shoulders to come down away from the ears, lifting the heart, drawing those shoulder blades down the back, relaxing the face, relaxing the jaw. And let's just take a moment to come into the present by noticing the breath. Just maybe take your awareness with your eyes closed if that feels comfortable to you, or with a soft gaze to the tip of your nose. And notice how the breath feels as it enters your nostrils. You can feel the air flowing inward through the nose. Maybe you can imagine it going up into the nasal cavity. And as you exhale, notice how that feels as it leaves your nostrils. Maybe it feels warm. Maybe there's a little bit of a tickling sensation. Don't try to change the breath just yet. Just notice how you're breathing. The breath can be a really powerful tool for us to just take stock of where we are right now, emotionally, physically. Are you breathing nice and deep into the belly? Or is the breath short, labored, high in the chest? Just notice, without any judgment, just accepting where you are in this moment. Let's bring the awareness to the low belly. You might even want to put one hand and then the other over the low belly here. And as we inhale, let's really direct that breath now down into the belly. We know we're not breathing into the belly, it's going into the lungs, but as the lungs fill with air, the diaphragm moves down and presses the internal organs outward, which causes our bellies to expand. But if you imagine breathing into that belly, you can really draw nice big lungs full of air. Maybe even picture that water balloon breath. Imagining that the belly has a water balloon attached to a faucet, and as you inhale, you fill the water balloon from the faucet. And as you exhale, just let it go, dropping the breath like a big heavy book, just letting it go. Inhale nice and deep into the belly. And just exhale to let it go. And just keep breathing here. A few more breaths, just allowing the nervous system to calm down. Remembering to keep that nice long spine. Releasing the belly whenever it seems appropriate to you. Relaxing the jaw. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Two more breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And then let's go ahead and inhale and draw the hands and arms up alongside the ears, bringing the palms together and exhaling hands to heart. And as you bring those thumbs to the heart, lift the heart to the thumbs, press the thumbs into the sternum and allow those elbows to be nice and heavy. As we inhale, let's go ahead and press the fingers together and notice how the hands feel as they press upon one another. Maybe your hands are cold, maybe they're warm. Maybe you can sense the energy or the blood flow within your palms. Notice how they touch at the heels of the hands, all the way up through the palms and up into the fingers. Just gently pressing to know that they're there. And then let's reach the fingertips out to the sides. And we'll take the left ear over towards the left shoulder. And just get a little bit of a stretch here in the left side of the neck. Maybe you notice something in the right shoulder, or the right side of the neck. The right shoulder. Maybe all the way down into the arm. Just continuing to breathe your nice big belly breaths here. And then let's go ahead and take the gaze down towards the earth and bring the chin to the chest. And the next time you inhale, draw the head back to the top of the spine. And as we exhale, we'll take the right ear to the right shoulder. Stretching through the left side of the neck. Stretching through the left shoulder maybe, or maybe into the left arm. Breathing your nice big belly breaths here. And then we'll go ahead and take the gaze down towards the earth, rolling the chin back to the chest and inhaling the head back to the top of the spine. And then let's go ahead and lean back just enough so that you can switch the cross of your legs. Getting a little balance through the hips here and giving a little bit of a relief to the knees. And we'll just take the hands out in front of us and kind of let the fingertips dangle down towards the earth in sort of these zombie arms here. Getting a nice stretch in the top of the forearms here. And then we'll flip the fingertips up towards the sky and get a little bit of a stretch on the underside of the forearms here. And maybe back and forth, just gently getting a little bit of movement here. We all spend so much time on our devices that it's good to just stretch out the fingers and the palms and the forearms. And then we're gonna take our fingers. In between each joint in our body, we have this fluid that flows, this synovial fluid. And so we want to get some healthy fluid running through our joints. And so just take your right hand and kind of clasp it around your left thumb and just gently pull outward on the left thumb 4, 5, 6 times, whatever feels good to you. Nice and gentle. And then move to the left index finger. Maybe just give it a little bit of a squeeze here. Just a nice, loving, healing touch as you move to the middle finger. Got to keep those middle fingers nice and healthy. And then we'll move to the fourth finger. Just gently pulling, allowing the knuckles to kind of find a little ease here, and then down to the pinky. And then we'll change hands, using the left hand to pull gently on the right thumb. And then the right index finger. This one's a tricky one for me. This was the first finger I ever noticed any arthritis in. And then we'll move to the middle finger. And the ring finger. Just noticing what you feel. Being gentle and loving with yourself. And then finally the right pinky. And then let's inhale the arms out to the sides again. And this time let's rotate our wrists, maybe making little gentle fists as we move up. And as we exhale, we'll rotate the wrists in the opposite direction. Coming on down towards the earth. Inhaling and rotating all the way up. Reversing the rotations and exhaling to float the arms down towards the earth. One more time, inhaling and rotating upward. And then let's stay here for the exhale. Draw those shoulders all the way up to the ears, really kind of crunching them in. And the next time you exhale, actively draw the shoulders as far down from the ears as you can get. Inviting those pinkies inward towards one another, having that internal rotation in the upper arms, and notice how that spreads the space out in between the shoulder blades in the back, and really draw those shoulder blades down towards the back pockets as you lift the heart and tuck the chin here. This is our victorious pose here. Let's inhale here, and as we exhale, just take a gentle twist over to the right, bringing the left hand to the right knee, bringing the right fingertips behind the right hip. And just really rotating from the upper part of the back here, drawing the right shoulder back and maybe looking out over the right shoulder towards the back wall. Keep the chin tucked to keep the neck long, and notice what you feel in the neck. Notice what you feel in the back. Breathing here, inhaling length in the spine, and exhaling to deepen your twist any amount more, or maybe just relax into that twist. One more full breath here. And then we'll inhale the arms back up to victorious pose, unwinding the spine, and then exhaling to twist to the left. Bringing the right palm to the left knee, the left fingertips behind the left hip. Inhaling to find length in the spine, tucking the chin, gazing back over the left shoulder. Breathing those nice big belly breaths here, relaxing the jaw. And the next time you inhale, we'll unwind the spine, bring the arms back up to our victorious pose, and exhale to release the hands down to the earth. And then you can stay seated on a cushion. If you're on a block, you might want to move that aside, but we're going to come into butterfly pose, bringing the soles of the feet together. You can kind of scooch the hips up towards the heels, or tuck the heels in towards the hips. Really notice the connection of your sit bones to the ground underneath you, holding on to your ankles here, maybe finding a little movement from side to side, just swaying a little bit. And then let's find a gentle cat-cow here. Inhaling to arch the back and lift the heart, drawing the elbows down towards the thighs. And exhaling to round back, drawing the belly button towards the spine and tucking the chin. Inhale, cow pose, lifting the heart, lifting the gaze. Exhale, cat pose, drawing the belly button back and really pressing back into those shoulder blades. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then the next time we inhale to cow, let's round through the right side body, coming all the way back to cat, and inhaling up through the left side body, coming forward into cow. Stirring it up, moving with the breath here, nice and gentle, noticing the space that you're creating in between the ribs. If you want to get a little deeper, you might think about scraping a bowl with a rubber scraper, like you're making cookies or something, and you want to just scrape every last drop out of the sides of the bowl. The next time you come forward into cow, go ahead and switch the direction of your circles. Exhaling through the left side body now and back into cat. Inhaling through the right side body and up into cow. A couple more times here just to even everything out. And the next time you come forward into cow, rather than pressing back into cat, we'll just draw back up into a nice straight spine. And then take your hands here and take your thumbs to the inside arches of the bottoms of your feet and just give yourself a little bit of a massage here. Maybe using the thumbs, you might massage into the heels. You might find some tender areas in the ankles that want a little attention. You might want to take your fingertips in between all the little bones of the feet, moving downward and away from the toes. It might feel good to squeeze the toes and draw them outward like we did with the fingers earlier. Squeezing the tips of the toes and drawing them away from the feet. Using however much pressure feels good to you. You might feel like a really firm massage is what's called for tonight. You might want to just gently massage very carefully and very softly. Maybe taking the fingers to the balls of the feet underneath the toes. And just a couple more breaths here, just exploring your feet and what feels good to you. And then I'm going to turn my body aside, to the side a little bit. You don't need to turn, but I'm sending my legs out a little bit farther from my hips. Instead of being in butterfly, it's more of a diamond shape here. And we're going to come into turtle pose. So for turtle pose, we're going to take our hands and we're going to place one hand, the right hand underneath the right shin and the left hand underneath the left shin. Breathe here, inhaling length in the spine. And as you exhale, hinge forward with the hips and maybe inch the arms a little deeper underneath the legs. Inhale here, really pressing the small of the back nice and straight. And as you exhale, allow the head to be heavy and come down towards your mat, rounding through the back, coming into your nice little turtle shell here. There's nothing wrong with
coming into your shell when it's nurturing for you. Just really allow the head to be heavy, allow the weight of the head to draw length in the neck. Breathe into that low belly, noticing how it expands the back body here. We'll just stay here for a few restorative breaths. Relaxing the jaw. Letting the weight of the shoulders and the head go. Noticing the expansion of the back body as you inhale. Noticing if you come any closer to the mat as you exhale. One more full breath here. And then go ahead and begin to inch your hands back through to center, coming back up to a nice tall seat. And then we'll come around to tabletop position, coming to hands and knees here. The hands can be directly underneath the shoulders or a little bit forward. Knees right underneath the hips here. And we'll take a couple cat-cows here as well. And as we come into cow, arching the back and drawing the heart forward, let's curl those toes under and lift the tailbone. And as we exhale into cat, turn the tops of the feet to the earth and press up and back, drawing the belly button towards the spine and letting the head be heavy. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Moving with the breath here. And then let's go ahead and bring our elbows down to where our palms are, drawing the heart towards the earth and maybe sending the knees and the hips back just a little bit to find some extension in the arms, coming into Anahata Asana, happy puppy pose or heart melting pose. You can bring the forehead down to the mat if that feels good to you, or you can keep the head lifted. But allow there to be some space in the armpits and the shoulders. Allow the tailbone to reach up towards the sky. Breathing here. Opening up through the heart. Inhaling here once more, nice full breath. And on the next breath, let's go ahead and press back up to tabletop. Let's inhale and send that right leg out long behind us. Press back into that heel, getting a nice little stretch in the back of the calf here. And then maybe bend that right knee and make some little hip circles here in one direction. And then switch directions, getting a little healthy movement in the hips here. And then you can kind of lift that right knee up and stack the hips a little bit, maybe coming to the right fingertips, opening up through that right hip, getting a nice little stretch in the front of the hip flexor here. Full breath here. And then we'll bring the right knee back down to the earth. Inhale the left leg out long behind. Pressing back through that left heel, getting a nice stretch in the back of the left calf. And then we'll bend the left knee and make some rotations in one direction. And then the other. And then we'll lift that left knee, stacking the hips, maybe coming to the left fingertips and really just letting those left toes kind of hang down behind you towards the earth. Getting a nice little hip flexor stretch on the left side. Inhale here and exhale to release the left knee down to the earth. Then we're going to come into Pigeon Pose here. So we'll inhale the right leg out long behind us. And as we exhale, let's bring that right knee all the way through towards the right wrist. The right heel is kind of tucked here near the left hip flexor. And the hips are squared to the front of the mat. Now this is a really good place for a block or a cushion. If the right hip is raised, you can tuck it right underneath here so that you can really settle into this pose a little bit more. Press those fingertips onto the mat and find your lifted heart, tucked chin, shoulder blades down the back. Keep those hips nice and square, and you can stay here if you like, or you can come down to the forearms. Sort of maybe adjusting the belly to come on the inside of the right thigh here. You could come into prayer position and rest the forehead to the thumbs. Or you could come all the way down into child's pose in the upper body, extending the arms forward and bringing the forehead to the earth. Draw that left hip forward and the right hip back. Just allow yourself to relax into this pose, into this half pigeon pose. Keep the chin tucked to keep the neck nice and long and safe. And as you breathe here, notice the breath expanding the back body. And notice where you can soften a little further. Notice where you might be holding any tension. And see if you can just let that go. Softening the face, softening the shoulders, allowing the legs to be heavy, allowing the torso to be heavy. We'll stay here for 3 more breaths. Softening where you can. Allowing yourself to just settle in. One more breath here. And then as we inhale, we begin to walk ourselves back up to our fingertips. You want to go a little bit deeper. You can plant that right palm on the mat right inside the right knee, sort of bracing that forearm against the inside of the knee, and then bend the left knee, drawing the heel towards the behind. And if you want to get a bigger stretch in the front of that quadricep, you can reach back with the left hand and hold on to the left foot here. And really press that foot into the hand so that you can open up through the front of that shoulder here. Notice the stretch in the front of the quadricep, the front of the thigh here. Notice the opening in the pectoral muscle in the front of the chest here. Inhale one more time. Exhale to gently release.
Bringing both palms down to the earth, tucking the left toes under and lifting the left knee, pressing back into that left heel here. Inhale here. And as you exhale, we'll come back to tabletop. Let's take a couple cat-cows here just to realign the spine, realign the hips and the neck. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. And then we'll inhale that left leg out long behind us and exhale to draw the left knee all the way through towards the left wrist, coming into pigeon on the second side. You can visualize that pigeon, how they have that big puffed up chest as they waddle around. That's what we're going for here, that puffed up pigeon chest. Drawing the shoulder blades down the back, squaring the hips to the front of the mat, tucking the chin. Breathing here, bringing a cushion or a block underneath the left hip if that helps you to settle in a little bit deeper. And then we can begin the journey down to a little more relaxed position of this posture, coming to your stacked hands or your child's pose or your forearms, whatever feels good in your body here. Adjust the belly so that it's comfortable inside the left thigh. And allow yourself to soften here. Invite the jaw to relax. Allow the skin of the forehead to be smooth. Breathing here. Noticing the breath in the back body. Maybe you can even notice the heart beating here against the bent leg. Being aware of the flow of energy throughout the body. Finding 3 more full breaths here. Noticing what's happening in the right leg. Noticing what's happening in the left leg. Scanning the body to see where you can soften a little bit more, letting go of effort that is not serving you here. Last breath here. And then we'll walk back up to our fingertips or palms. And if you want that deeper stretch in the right thigh, you can plant that left hand right in front of the left knee, bend through the right knee, and reach back for the right foot. You can bring the hand to the outside of the foot or the inside of the foot or ankle, whatever feels good to you here. If it's not comfortable to reach, just imagine that you can reach. And if you do have that foot in your hand, you can press back with that foot and really open up across the front of the right chest here, making space in the shoulder. Keeping the chin tucked, 1 more breath here. And then we'll gently release the leg. And then plant those right toes, curling them under and lifting the right knee, really pressing back through that right heel here. Inhaling here. And then exhaling to come back into our tabletop. We'll take a cat-cow cycle. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat, inhaling cow, and then exhaling cat and all the way back into child's pose. Extending the fingertips towards the front of the mat.
And then just relaxing the forearms down to the earth. And maybe bringing the arms alongside the body, flipping the palms up next to the feet, coming into Snail Pose. Take a big breath here, inhaling into the back body. And as you exhale, just let those shoulders fall away from the spine, hanging down towards the earth. Maybe nod your head yes, and shake your head from side to side, or make little circles with the forehead on the mat. Just give yourself a little massage here between the eyebrows at the third eye. One more full breath here. And then slowly, vertebra by vertebra, begin to roll the spine up, coming into Hero's Pose. Sitting on the heels, legs are parallel, bringing the palms back to the tops of the thighs. Taking a full breath here. And then you can bring those fingertips to the floor in front of you, cross the legs behind you, and bring the sit bones back behind the feet so that we can come to a seated position. Go ahead and center yourself on the mat here and bring the palms to the backs of the thighs. And here we'll just gently roll down one vertebra at a time and really picture those bones in the back, one by one, bringing them down to the mat, just like it was a little beaded necklace. Slowly, 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 using your core to slow it down. And as you come all the way down, stretch out the legs, stretch out the arms, coming into a nice good morning stretch, rotating the wrists, rotating the ankles in one direction and then the other. And then we'll bring the soles of the feet to the earth, bending the knees, pointing them up towards the sky. And then let's take the outside of the left ankle to the top of the right thigh, coming into our figure four stretch. So this is kind of a supine pigeon pose. If pigeon pose isn't comfortable for you, you can get pretty much the same benefits coming here. And you can just kind of take that left palm and sort of press that left thigh away, making space here. And then we'll take that left foot off the thigh and switch, bringing the right ankle to the top of the left thigh and just pressing into that right thigh with the heel of the right hand. Just passively getting some space here and having a little bit of massage. And then we'll release the sole of the right foot down and bring the soles of the feet about as wide as the mat. And send those arms out wide, kind of perpendicular to the body. And we'll just windshield wiper the knees from one side to the other. And as you take your gaze over to the knees to the left, you can take your gaze to the right. And as the knees come to the right, the gaze can go to the left, getting a little bit of a twist here. And then let's go ahead and extend the arms and legs again and kind of come into an X shape on your mat so that the hands are in the top corners of the mat above your head and the feet are at the lower corners of the mat. You're sort of in this tall X shape. And then let's take the right leg over towards the left leg and the right arm over towards the right arm, coming into this banana asana. So you're kind of a side-lying, shallow C shape here, or banana laying on its side. You can clasp the hands together here, maybe interlacing the fingers and pointing the index fingers away from you, and maybe even crossing that right ankle over the left if that feels good. Getting a full body stretch on the right side. Breathing into that right lung. Really focus on expanding the right lung as you expand through the ribs, making space in between the ribs and up in the armpit and the tricep and down into the right hip, the IT band, the calf, all the way from the fingers to the toes, breathing into that right side body. Expanding the right side body as you inhale and allowing it to soften as you exhale. 2 more breaths here. And then we'll inhale everything back up to center, stretching long through the body and then coming back into that X shape. And then we'll take the left leg and the left hand over to the right, making that same crescent C shape, that same banana shape on the left side body. Interlacing the fingers if that feels good to you, maybe pointing away with the index fingers. Really getting a nice stretch in the left side of the hip, and maybe if you want to deepen that, you can cross that left ankle over the right ankle. Focus on inhaling into that left lung. Noticing how you can control and direct the breath. Working as a partner with your body to nurture and heal. Expanding through that whole left side body as you inhale. Softening and relaxing as you exhale. One more breath here. And then we'll inhale everything back to center, getting a nice good long stretch. And then come into your final Shavasana, whatever shape serves you best. That's traditional Shavasana, that's with the legs out straight, feet as wide as the mat, just letting the toes open out towards the side. The palms can be down near the hips and turned upward. Maybe press into the elbows just enough to lift the heart so that you can hug those shoulder blades in towards one another and tuck the chin to keep the neck long. If this shape doesn't feel good in your body, you can bend the knees and maybe put some blocks or pillows under the knees, or you can come into a constructive rest pose with the soles of the feet on the earth and the knees touching in the center. If the hands don't feel good where they are, you can bring them to the belly. And let's just take some time here to settle in. Bringing your attention to the body, letting go of any control of the breath, allowing your body to take back over. And let's just imagine with every inhalation, we're inviting good health and healing into every cell of the body. Allowing the benefits of our practice to settle into every crevice, every muscle, every cell. Bring your awareness to your toes and allow them to just be soft and relaxed. Allow the feet to be soft and relaxed as well. Moving up into the ankles. Notice any tension you might be able to let go of there. Bring relaxation up into the calves and the shins, allowing the knees to just be heavy. Allow the thighs to just melt into the earth. Noticing the support of your mat underneath you. Allow the hips to rest there. Allow the back to be supported and heavy and rested. Allow the chest and the heart to be soft. And then bring your awareness to your fingers and notice if you might be holding any tension there, and just allow them to soften. Allow the palms to be soft. The wrists, the forearms, the elbows and the triceps heavy onto the mat. Gradually moving that relaxation up into the shoulders, letting the collarbones just kind of slide away from one another. Relaxing into the neck, the throat, the jaw, the cheeks. Letting the eyes be heavy and sink down into their sockets. Relaxing the back of the skull and the temples. Smooth across the forehead. All the way up into the crown of the head. Melting like sugar on the tongue of life. Three more breaths here. Softening, relaxing, healing. And then just find a little gentle movement, wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers, maybe rotating wrists and ankles in one direction and then the other. And then we'll draw one knee and then the other in towards the heart, and give yourself a big hug and kind of gently rock a little bit from side to side, allowing any parts of your back to be massaged against the mat, maybe inviting the nose up to the knees to give yourself a final little hug here. And from here, you can either roll to whatever side serves you best, or you can bring the hands to the backs of the thighs and kind of rock and roll yourself up and down the spine to come into a nice tall seat. And let's finish here in Dandasana pose, staff pose, stretching the legs out in front of us. Nice and long and even here, flexing the feet and pointing the toes up towards the sky and maybe giving them a little bit of a wiggle. And then walk those fingertips out towards the side and really find length in that spine here. Tucking the chin, lifting the heart, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. The next time you inhale, let's draw those arms up alongside the ears. Bring the palms together overhead. And exhale, hands to heart. Tilt the chin down towards the fingers. And maybe offer yourself a little bit of gratitude for taking the time to take care of yourself and to slow down, finding good health for yourself along the way. May you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, and peace in your hearts. Namaste.